Hello and welcome, everybody. It is Cyber Warrior. This is CyberWarriorStudios, and it is Security Happy Hour. It's going to be an amazing episode today. We got big things planned, and it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. Yeah, I celebrate the whole weekend. Don't judge me. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And we're back, and we're here. And as I said, St. Patrick's Day weekend, I'm wearing my green. Look, I'm a leprechaun. I'm allowed to wear my green. All right. So with me, as always, my partner in crime, my friend, Eric Bellardo. Eric, why don't you let them know how things are going and what's going on?
Things are going okay.
Hey, don't bring that.
Oh, all right. Yes. Welcome to another Security Happy Hour. I'm the... What is it that I am? I am the...
partner in crime and comedic relief.
Comedic relief. That's it. I am so happy to be here. It's Friday, and we have a very special guest. I'm fangirling a little bit about this special guest that we have here, so let's introduce her.
Yes, with us today, we've got Katie Sy, otherwise known as Catherine De Mesa. Catherine, please let us know. How's it going? What you got going on?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just chilling, relaxing with y'all. So a little about me. I'm currently studying cybersecurity. That's like my major, whatever. And I graduated this December with a associate's in computer science. So yeah.
That's awesome. So are you currently in the career field? Like, are you looking for jobs, or do you have a job, or are you just
currently, funny enough, I'm not in the cybersecurity field yet. I'm currently doing a web dev internship at like a startup. And I'm also doing like a technical writing gig at NASA, like an internship with them too. So yeah, that's
nice.
currently what I'm doing.
That's awesome. But you do, I believe it was you that reached out to me, which is rare.
Yeah.
People don't normally reach out to me. I wish they would do that more often. But you reached out to me about being on this show. So really, what sparked your interest of wanting to come on to Security Happy Hour? What kind of caught your eye and wanted you to get your point across?
She wanted to meet me. She
wanted to meet me. That's it. Lies and deceit. Don't say that.
So I recently saw I've seen y'all before, especially with Lena. What's her name? Like Lena. What's her handle?
George Phoenix.
Yeah, her. Sorry.
Carolina Teresa. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Carolina Teresa.
Okay, there it is. I rely on the Puerto Rican to do it for me.
Yeah. That's Catherine De Mesa. So, but I've seen her a lot on your show, and I've also seen Ellie Sinacodes on your show. So I was like, oh, like, do they allow you to anyone? Like, is it like invite only? Like, So that's why
we got it. I'm here for the smoke. Let's do it. No, but it's great to see that you're here and that you reached out, because one thing about this show, it's all about getting new people seen in her, right? So yes, I've had the likes of Carolina on here. I've had Alyssa Miller. I've had Kim Crawley. I've had Philip Wiley and Bryson Bort and all these people. But the reality is that I do that so that when someone like yourself comes on, other people can see it, because they're already following. And so as much as I love them and I love their stories and their journeys and where they came from, it's really about the up and comers, the ones that have something to give back to the community that nobody's heard of. So with that, you are a woman in tech.
Yeah.
You're a woman trying to break into cyber. So how has that journey so far been for you?
Well, sometimes it can be like intimidating, because sometimes I literally just I like draw blanks and I'm like, oh, where do I start? Like, where do I continue from here, right? But it's also very, very fun, because like, despite all the discrimination and stereotypes and all that, like, it's very fun, tech in general, and especially cyber. So yeah, even just think about like stuff like cyber policies and stuff like that. It's just really fun to just, knock my head on. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's great to hear that, because it's one of the things that I talk about a lot is, this career field is for everybody, regardless of what you enjoy. IT and cybersecurity is for everybody, because we need all hands on deck. I don't care where you came from. You may have a different way of looking at things than I do. So when I listen to you and I say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and you provide a different perspective, it may make more sense and be like, oh wait, let me actually go that route. Now, saying that, I know there's idiots out there that don't want to listen to a difference of opinion, but especially if it comes from maybe a female or a minority or something like that. But the reality is we need everybody. We need those differences of opinion, the differences of upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And as Eric told me one time, the diversity of thought. So that is really what we need. And Infinite Improbability AI says it here, and it was earlier on Twitter by our friend Conda. Everyone is a noob at one point. No one is born a cybersecurity expert. Please don't ever use the term expert. I hate that term. It is impossible to be a cybersecurity expert unless you are Eric Villardo.
I grew out of the cybersecurity plant as a fully formed cybersecurity expert.
But it's true. So we want to talk about breaking in and what your journey's been so far, and what you have what are the roadblocks you have faced so far trying to get into not only IT and in general, but in cybersecurity, because that seems to be the route you really want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the roadblocks you faced?
Yeah. So I kind of just I wouldn't say I started when I was a kid. I just, when I was a kid, I used to just mess around with my computer and stuff like that. Just seeing the device drivers and stuff like that. And basically my mindset when I was a kid and even middle school was, how can I mess up my computer in little ways without coding, right? That was my philosophy. And at that point in time, I was really into the culture as well. So with Roblox, I really saw that schools don't really teach you IT stuff. And if they teach coding, it's stuff that kids aren't interested in. It's boring, right? So that's one big thing. And another thing is schools, if say you go for your undergrad, a lot of times they don't really teach you how they probably should. They're very delayed, and I'm pretty sure y'all have probably seen that too. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It is. So I've had a lot of conversations. Actually, me and Eric just sat down with my buddy Sarn AR, Infinite Improbability AI, and his buddy John. What was it, last week or the week before, about education in STEM and cyber and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to high schools and colleges, and a lot of that comes down to, and especially just yesterday and the day before, I was talking to my to the high school by me, to their cybersecurity class and their instructor, and it comes down to the fact that sometimes these teachers don't know. So the teacher they have is a computer science teacher. She teaches programming. That's her background knowledge, but they want to implement a cybersecurity program. So she's doing her research and trying to learn on the fly what someone like myself and Eric and you have been learning for a while, things that we've been doing. And she's trying to teach a class when she's never been in the field. So it makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the curriculums take so long to change. So when the curriculums take so long to change, to be like, okay, we want to include this. So you include it and they pass it the next year, but then when you want to change it, it takes another 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And that's a huge problem. So I love the fact that us as a community, and I include everybody. If you're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, as a community, a lot of the people, myself, Eric, yourself, Katie, ITPR guy, Infinite Improbability, Mary, the list can go on, to the people we have in chat and the people we interact with daily.
Since you said the community and Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and YouTube, let's make sure we like and subscribe and comment this.
Yes,
this
please
channel.
do.
So please like the video. Let's see everybody liking this video.
Yes.
All right, back to you.
All right, back to me. But yes, Catherine, I do agree. We need more of it. We need more of a cybersecurity foundation. I think computer science has a great foundation in a lot of college. I think computer information systems is a great foundation in a lot of colleges. And even in high school, I think they push a lot of that. But in general, for cybersecurity, it's so hard. And please correct me, Katie, if you think I'm wrong. But is cybersecurity because of how much it changes, do you feel there is a curriculum we can put into high school that would allow us to change every 3 to 5 years, but still be able to teach the foundations?
I think there is, but like, I'm just thinking about like in terms of like, how computer science classes are now and how often, meaning not that often, they change it, right? It's if they do implement it the proper way, it's gonna take forever for them to actually realize that. So I think it is possible, but like you said, it takes forever to actually update curriculum. So it's gonna be a while before we see actual changes.
Right, right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and that's a big thing. And I think that'll help a lot of people break into cyber is when they start
yeah.
being able to learn it younger. Um, and I think we need to be able to reach these kids at high school, middle school level
Hmm.
of bringing them up into this because, I love South Park. I'm a huge South Park fan. And every time I
How
talk
do
about
I
the
reach
kids,
these kids?
there it is. There it is. There's the Cartman saying, how do I reach these kids? Yes, very much so. I do feel like that. And, I try to raise my kids to understand cybersecurity. I've got 5 boys. I've always told them if you can find a workaround to what I implement, you deserve it.
Hmm.
By all means, if you find a hack, a vulnerability, or something, let me know what it is. I'll still let you do what you do, but at least now I know for the future, how to fix these things. And so I'm a very big proponent of that. I want that ingenuity, that intellectual, like I want to know how to break
Yeah.
or fix or whatever type of mentality. Um oh, hey, Jermaine, actually, let's put this up real quick. Dang it, we both hit it at the same time. All right. Jermaine Wilson says, funny enough, I'm hearing complaints about computer science now because they are stuck on Java and C. We are using Python, Golang, and Rust for a lot of the data science and machine learning stuff. I just want to say the high school that my son is going to be going to actually teaches Python. It is not C, it is not Java, it is Python is the language they are learning.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it is a lot of graphic design stuff. So they are using Python to design graphics and games and things of that nature. So I will say this, some of your schools are up to date with the newer languages.
Mhm.
As much as I love
But
C,
there's a very big difference between different schools and different areas of the United States,
yes,
where in some schools they don't even have a computer lab.
yes,
In other schools, they have, great
everything.
information,
Yep.
great courses, and it's just that they don't prioritize in different areas those things.
Well, you figure
And
some prioritize sports over education.
Hmm.
and I don't, and again, great programs with sports, great programs with scouting, and those other organizations, but anything in the field of computer science, IT, cybersecurity, or anything like that. You tell somebody that, well, what do you want to do? And they say, well, I want to do cybersecurity. And I always say the same thing. And I will hammer this till I'm dead,
Said that today.
is cybersecurity is not a job. It's a career field. It's like healthcare. There's doctors, there's nurses, there's EMTs. We have penetration testers, security operations analysts, we got security engineers, we've got GRC. So we have all these things, but we don't tell people the different things. We tell them cybersecurity. It's like, oh yeah, you should learn healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what type of healthcare? Like, do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be a
Yeah.
doctor? Like,
So I always say we have a very big problem, a very big PR problem in cybersecurity.
hmm.
So, and then when you go to these schools, and we have to start teaching them early, because now technology, now 8-year-olds have a cell phone.
Hmm.
So we've got to start teaching security concepts early now. It's not, we
Privacy,
can't wait
security.
until high school, you
Hmm.
know?
Yep.
So,
So we got another one here, and this one I'm going to leave to you, Katie. There's a
Yeah.
limitation by the high school administrators that that have this fear or stigma of what they're going to learn. It is not just getting to the teachers they want it. the administration needs awareness, and then you can address resourcing. So I'm gonna relate this to a question that the teacher I was working with the past 2 days brought to me is, how do you ethically reach these kids and teach them some of the
Mhm.
offensive and defensive things and expect them not to use it maliciously? And that's kind of where I look at fear and stigma of being able to train and learn, especially in cybersecurity and the things that you can use maliciously
Mhm.
to your benefit. How do we stop that? So I'll let you address this one real quick.
Yeah. There's this I think, I was gonna say earlier, but this actually applies here too. A lot of adults have this misconception about cybersecurity that maybe once you learn, like, say, just Python or something, for example, you're gonna become like some epic hacker or like some elite 1337 hacker or something, and that's not true. Like, I think having like a basic baseline of like, oh, like use 2FA or like, just don't share your password with everyone in the world. Like having simple things like that, for example, is probably just like a good starting place for kids. Because people, even adults, like don't even know basic stuff like that. So
Yeah, for sure. And that's really what it comes down to is I think we need to start with the basics. And that's a
yeah.
class that needs to be included at your younger levels. Look, I don't care that Facebook's and Gmail and all these places say you need to be 13 years old to sign up. You know damn well they are using their parents' birth dates or some other random ass birth date and creating accounts, or their parents create them account and then they change the password or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
So having these courses, and I've talked to fifth graders that have been like, hey, do you have a Facebook? Yeah, I do. And I'm like, you're like 8, that's illegal. But okay. We're gonna go with it, and I'm gonna tell you, you really need to protect yourself, and your privacy needs to be on
Hmm.
point.
So this is a good point here. So students can learn ethically if you remember to do that and to reinforce it that the ethics are important. And we don't
Hmm.
have to start them up on, I always say this as well. People think that cybersecurity is you got to be a red team, you got to be a pen tester, you got to be, all that stuff. But I always say, and
Hmm.
this is based on my opinion and my strong opinion, is that you need to learn how to defend before you learn how to do the offense.
But I
You
think the
know,
opposite. You need to learn how to do the offense before you know how to defend.
Exactly. Exactly.
You,
Um,
the
Actually,
reality is, it comes out of both ways.
yeah.
show me. Okay, then give me. I'm gonna give you a really good one. Right at number one.
Okay.
Show me. Show me show me a lot of people who have started their career and gone straight into red teaming. Because most people that start their career that even train for red team end up doing security operations.
Hmm.
They do, the blue side, vulnerability
Yeah.
management, things like nature. And yeah, I mean, the
Or help them
reality
first,
is
then move on to that, and then move on to
exactly.
red team. Yeah.
But everybody over 32 years that I've, helped and worked,
Hmm.
defense comes, like Jermaine says, defense comes from the fundamentals. Okay? It's not
Hmm.
about being blue team or red team or any of that BS crap. And don't give me any BS crap because, okay, he's like, oh, red team, red team, red team. What do you do on a daily basis, mister?
I'm a blue teamer. I ain't gonna lie.
Ah, look
I'm
at
so a blue team.
that.
But I,
Okay?
I I cut my chops.
The
But
leader of the Republic of Hackers. What does he do?
he's a blue teamer. Don't let him lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's the thing, and here's what it comes down to. And Katie, please, because me and Eric are using a lot of airtime to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we when I did my learning and all the introductory training, all the boot camps and everything, whether it be incident handler or security essentials, like all my SANS courses and all the training I've done, they teach breaking into things. And
Yeah.
then like, hey, here's the logs that generated from it. So do you think, in your opinion, that we should revamp a lot of this training from the
Hmm.
offensive side of what we do to the blue team side of, hey, I'm going to give you a ton of logs. You tell me what happened.
From like my experiences, and it's sort of limited because of course I'm still trying to break in.
Right.
In my experiences, I can have all the resources I want, and there are a lot of resources out there, don't get me wrong. But um I think for beginners, especially if they are given the right resources, especially, they're gonna still have to spend some time alone to learn the stuff, to learn the information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's funny, you either die a red team or you live long enough to become a blue team. I've been both. I love it all. But yeah, and you're right. It is. There's so much that goes into it. So, part of the conversation, part of what you wanted to talk about was about being you. Now,
Yeah.
I am very much someone that has a difference of opinion of professionalism than of a lot of other people. Well, a lot of corporate people, shall I say. Not other people, corporate people. Because
Yeah.
those that are in our career field have a completely different opinion of professionalism than those that are senior execs. I have tattoos. I have a beard. I drink on camera. I'm me. I swear. I curse. I have all this stuff. So my idea of professionalism. Look, all right. Look, Gandalf. All right. Just because you've been around since the dinosaurs, I don't want to hear it.
You shall not pass.
But so when we talk about being you, I like to look at being you as a female, being you as a minority, whether it be Black, Hispanic, or Native American, or whatever the case may be. I look at these things, and when we talk about being you, it should really be about being all of you, no matter your gender, your race, your sex. It doesn't matter to me. So how do you feel being you will influence how you approach cybersecurity and entering the career field?
Yeah. So sometimes when like I get frustrated or whatever, I guess, like you said earlier about like the whole professional thing. Sometimes when I get frustrated, I'm just like, like anarchy, like screw the system or whatever. But then it's like that's not appropriate to do. So the second option is what are my options and like analyze all the avenues I have for me. That's deep. I mean, no, sometimes I feel like that, like, screw the system. But sometimes I think about like how I've say approached stuff in the past and like how can I apply that to my future lessons in security or whatever else I'm learning, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And when we look at it, so I had a conversation with a coworker. I think it was earlier this week, maybe last week. Actually, no, would have been last week. I was off this week. So and it was we talked a little bit about professionalism and how people expect you to speak a certain way. And so here in the United States, I will not speak for any other country. I am speaking strictly for the United States. The reason why some professionalism comes into how you speak and tries to get you cancel security happy hour. Daniel, we're fighting. Me and Daniel gonna fight. Get out of here. I don't get woke. But no, some of the reasons I look at it is because when you are trying to articulate your thoughts and articulate how you speak and what you want, if you are using slang, if your accent is causing it for other people to not understand, it makes it very difficult to get your point across. So it is not so much you have to speak this way. Now, mind you, I am someone that can flip a switch and quit swearing and quit doing all these different things that I like to do if need be. But this is security happy hour, so I don't fucking care. I don't care.
Beep.
See, here's the thing. Like for me, I can do the exact same thing. Like, even right now, I'm kind of doing it, but
don't do it. Look, let your freak flag fly, and say what you do. It's all good with me.
Yeah, but yeah, like especially in the workplace, I don't know what happens, but like a flip, like a switch flips in my head or whatever, and it's just like, oh, I'm like this prim and proper person, and like I'm eye rolling right now because it's so stupid, but I feel like I have to do that in order to like get a job or like keep my job or whatever, and it's like I shouldn't have to do that,
Yeah, and again, how you dress should not determine your professionalism, although
exactly.
There's limits. I will say there's limits. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill if when you walk into a workplace and I can see your ass, that is not professional. Please pull your pants up, wear a belt, And
Oh, okay, okay. I was thinking women because you were talking about women, and yeah,
no,
okay,
no,
never
no.
mind.
I'm just talking in
I'm not gonna
general.
go
Like,
there. I'm not
no,
gonna go
please
there.
don't. You,
Okay, let's
Eric.
answer Taylor's question
Okay,
here.
to
Yeah.
ask when appropriate, how do you deal with a situation where people first assume you are unprofessional by how you look, dress, your gender, etc., without it becoming aggression?
Huh, that's
Katie, answer
actually
that question because I'm confused.
yeah. That's actually a really good question. I just act as polite as I can. And again, with the whole like flipping a switch thing, I act like extra nice and like and at some point like in my head I'm like, oh, like screw this person for acting like that, but externally I'm like the sweetest, most like sugar gushing like person ever because
But that's
you
how
know
you have to be. But and the sad part is that's how you have to be, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you show
exactly.
aggression, if you go out of your way and be like, "What the fuck are you saying?"
Yeah,
then it's going to
exactly.
look bad on you, like you're doing the wrong thing. And I think that is where we need to kind of separate that. Is like, look, if you're coming off as someone that's judging me based on how I look, we're going to have issues. We're
Yeah.
going to have some
And
serious
that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so to Taylor, I've been in the industry for 32 years. Okay,
Yeah.
um, and I have seen people who are when I first joined, well, about 10 years into my career, I joined a company that if you were an engineer, you wore a blue suit. If you were a manager, you wore a black suit. Okay, and your
Hmm.
shoes had to be shined. And this is commercial. Okay,
Hmm.
so but I've worked in other companies where people came in with spiky hair, colored all different, dressed the way they wanted. It's gender issues, LGBT, all these issues. I mean, I remember one of my best friends went on vacation, came back, and was a different gender. Okay, and we
Hmm.
didn't we were their
whatever.
best friends and we didn't know. And guess what? It doesn't matter. Okay? So what we need to know is it doesn't matter who you are now, and we're entering this, you know, society where we're trying to eliminate gender biases and different biases that we have. Okay, be it women, be it men, be it colors, be it races. It's just right now this field of cybersecurity. It doesn't matter who you are, as long as it doesn't matter. I mean, it really to do a good job. It doesn't matter what you are. This is a field that is the great equalizer.
Hmm.
I and
Question: can I dye myself green? Can I break some walls down and
Ooh,
just dye myself green? Will that work? I'll be the first
maybe.
green person with a cybersecurity job.
hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Okay, let's continue our program.
Yeah.
I took him out. I took
I
him out because,
love you, Eric. I love you. But the point
but
stands. I'm right there with you, Eric. I really am.
yeah. So control what you can control. Be
Yeah,
yourself,
basically.
Taylor. Be who you are. Be a professional. That's the only part is you continue to be a professional. You control what you control. Okay, because you can't make somebody like you. In their view of you being a professional, you should not care. Okay, and if
And
they
really,
don't
what determines
appreciate you in that
professional?
job, get the hell out and
And
find
that's
somewhere.
but that's the big thing. And I had that conversation today. You can't change a company. You can't change their culture. They are who they are. But you can choose which company you work for. You can
Hmm.
choose what culture you want to be a part of.
Hmm.
So, as much as we want to change the culture of all these other Fortune 500 and these huge organizations, we can't. We're a number. You working in cybersecurity or IT, you're a fucking number to these
Yeah,
huge organizations. So, unless you have a bunch of people behind you to try to change that culture, when you're applying, if you don't agree with their culture or the way they see things, then bounce. No,
exactly.
no point to trying to fight that. and just find a job that fits you.
Yeah, and gladly, this is a field where you're like always learning. You always have an opportunity to learn something. So if you don't like the culture of the company, just like get a cert or like learn something, and move on. You know.
Yeah, and if you're not, and if you don't do that, move on to another job within our career field.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
if you're, if you're not being accepted in one area, learn,
Mhm.
become a, master in another area, move over. I mean,
Mhm.
if you
Pretty
look
much.
at, think of all the people that we look up to in this industry right now, and all the
Yeah.
leaders that we have in this industry right now. And I'm going to tell you, half of the leaders or people who have been in this industry 20 plus years,
Mhm.
all of them are a little strange. Okay? All
I'm
of them
here
are a
with a
little
green
strange.
leprechaun hat on, so
Okay?
I know damn well I'm
I
strange.
know there's a young gentleman here called DKH Infosec.
Oh, he's
Okay?
a strange one. He's
He's
a
a
little out there.
strange one, but he's somebody that we look up to.
Mhm.
Here in all the folks we have some of the leaders in our industry, LGBTQ. We have
Mhm.
autism. We have ADD, ADHD. We have a
Mhm.
lot of different people in our industry, and those are the trailblazers for the people that have come before us that have you know here's a Puerto Rican that has been in the industry for 32 years. I don't consider me
Mhm.
myself a trailblazer, but
He's old. He's been around
I'm
since
old and
dinosaurs.
Hispanic. Okay,
T-Rex was his first car.
I
No,
got an autographed Bible.
but no, I do stand by what Eric is saying because
Yeah.
You better
Eric
stand by what
is
I say.
someone I
Carajo.
look up to. Tyrone Wilson, Davin Jackson, Alyssa Miller, Shannon
Yeah.
Morse, Kalila Key Twice on Twitter. Like all these people are people I look up to. And the funny thing is, they're all different.
Mhm.
Everybody is different. And that's the thing is that's what it's about is understanding where they came from, seeing their journey and seeing what they've accomplished. So Katie is someone trying to break in, trying to accomplish something.
Yeah.
Understand that it's possible.
Yeah. Definitely. Like
You
and
can
like
do
circling back,
it.
and circling back to like earlier about like losing confidence or whatever. I do see people like say Alyssa Miller or Snubs or other people out there. They're like big names and all that, right? And I'm a young person. I was born in like the late '90s, so I had to realize a lot of these people were born like or have been in the industry longer than I have been alive. So, to put that into perspective helps a lot. Um, and I know like I still have a long way to go, obviously, but in my position, I think I'm doing pretty decent.
You're doing good. You're look, the fact that you're willing to take strides to better yourself and better your career
Yeah,
is a lot more than what others do. And
yeah,
that's what I look at is those that are willing to put in the effort. So when I look at the people that I look up to, Chris
yeah,
Cochran, Ronald Eddings, Davin Jackson, Alyssa Miller, Shannon Morse,
yeah, yeah,
all these people, they've all taken strides to better themselves and better what they do. John Ziola, Eric Lansbury, I can give you a slew of names.
yeah, yeah,
And they're always learning, they're always growing, and that's what's important. So if you're not willing to make that effort, if you're not willing to put in the work, then no.
exactly. Um, and for like a lot of fields, I think once you get out of school and you graduate, or say you go to law school or medical school and get out of that, you're pretty much done, right? But like I said earlier, we're gonna be students forever, so might as well just enjoy the ride.
Look, I'm a
Right?
student of the game. I play the game. I've lost quite frequently. Eric has lost for the past 20 years. but I do. I look at what Eric has done and the things
Yeah,
that he's
yeah,
accomplished. I look at what Hacker
You
Valley
guys, I
Media.
started singing. And I was
Yeah.
muted.
Good. We need you muted. Your voice
Okay.
sucks. Damn.
Well, you started saying things, and I was like, you sounded like you were Kenny Rogers, singing The Gambler. Know when to hold 'em, know when to walk away.
them.
Okay,
You forgot
so
to know when to fold them. Damn. God. Look, I can't count on this guy for anything. Damn it, Eric.
that was my karaoke song. So shut up. All right, so back to you. So
Yeah.
So what are, you said something about, you're like, okay, he left us. Okay, good riddance. Go, bye. Okay, so you, and I didn't do that, by the way. So now, you said something very important, and this field in cybersecurity is a field that we never stop learning. And we've
Yeah.
got to encourage that learning, because when you go and you train for something, we need to remember that we have kind of like an advanced Moore's law where things change every 18, 24 months. And yes, this is current. This is true.
Ooh.
So we've got to learn a lot of stuff. Like I always say to people, when I started in my career field, I was programming in
Yeah.
punch cards and, Fortran 77, So if I didn't keep up with my knowledge, that's what we have to do. And even now, you learn a firewall, and 2 years later, there's another firewall or another IDS or another system that we have to learn. And if you don't do that, even at our, at my advanced geriatric age,
Old.
you see what I mean? So how do you keep learning? How do you keep that passion alive?
Yeah. So, one of the best things that helps me is that this is gonna sound weird. It's a weird strategy that I use, but if I like become tired or whatever one day, then I just go on Twitter and scroll, and I see, I always see people like posting resources or like just talking about like, oh, I just got my AWS cert or whatever. And sometimes people will ask them like, hey, what did you use to study with it or whatever? And I'll use stuff like that, especially if it's free or reduced cost. And I'll just read like the like for example textbooks too, like say from Pact or Humble Bundle or whatever. Stuff like that really helps me. Even if it's just like one tiny thing I learned, it's helpful.
Yep.
So
And that's a
And
big thing.
watching podcasts.
yeah, exactly.
I suck at watching podcasts or listening to them. I try. I do what I can. But I am very bad because during my workday, I'm either watching TV or listening to music. Because if I start listening to podcasts, then I get distracted.
Same here.
Very, very distracted because then I get ingrained in what the podcast is saying. And so I'm like, oh, I got work. Holy shit. Hold on, let me go do this.
And speaking of podcasts, if you want to catch the new Hacker Valley Blue that came out today, there's a young person that actually the podcast was today. And, so go ahead and go to Hacker Valley Blue and check out the podcast that came out today.
Yes. So one of the things you'll learn about me and learn about what I do, not only do I promote Catherine and Katie and, all the other people that have been on this amazing show, but I promote others. So if you haven't caught any of my tweets or LinkedIn posts or Instagram posts or Facebook posts, you're missing out, because I did just put out about Hacker Valley Media and the shit they're doing, which is absolutely amazing. So go find Chris Cochran and Ronald Eddings on there. Eric Bellardo was an amazing guest on Hacker Valley Blue with your new host, Davin Jackson. Oh, wait. Davin has Alpha Cybersecurity.
It dropped today. Go get it.
Go get it. Go download
fancy.
it. Download it. No, but I do. I am. I'm all about helping others. Shannon Moore's, look, she's doing great things over on Snubs for Morse code and ThreatWire.
They ran somewhere.
Wait, hold up. How did the computer hackers get away from the scene of the crime? They just ran somewhere.
Ran somewhere. Get it? Get it? Ran
There it
somewhere.
is.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, it is. It's crazy because we look at it and we're a huge community. Well, we're a small
Mhm.
community, but a huge community at the same time, if you think about it. Um, and Katie, with what you're doing, with where you're at in your journey and trying to get a job, between being you and breaking in, what has been the hardest part? Like, have you tried to separate being you to break in, or are you trying to
Oh,
be able to find a company that fits you and who you are?
yeah. See, and like I'm always like worried that I have to like condense or like water myself down to like fit a company's status quo. Don't do that, by the way.
Nope.
But honestly, um at the startup that I'm currently interning at, they are really, really nice, and they really are all about mental health, and we actually have like mental health days and all that, which is awesome. That's amazing. Um, so for me to find another company very similar to that is gonna be a struggle, but that's one of my goals here on out is to find a company that does respect you and does respect your mental health, while still getting progress done. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I fight for that. One of the things that I
Mhm.
do is this diversity, equity, and inclusion thing
Yeah.
that I'm a and it took me a long time to find who I was and put myself out there and be myself. And I always thought that I had to, be the guy in the suit and be the conforming person. For most of my career, I was like that because I worked in Washington, D.C.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until the last couple years that I said, you know what? I don't have to be like that. I can be myself. I can be my crazy self. And if you don't like it, I don't care. So I think that many people are learning that a little more early in their careers, and you should always be yourself and always be comfortable and find. So here's my dad old nugget of wisdom.
Yeah.
Find the place that you that how do I say it? That knows who you are, that appreciates you as you are, because you're going to bring something to that company and bring something to that job that nobody else is going to bring.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. And that's the big thing is, if you're not you, if you're not the real you, you're going to end up somewhere that you don't enjoy. So we talk a lot about burnout in this career field, and it's true. You're going to end up doing things you don't want to do. You're going to end up putting in a hell of a lot of work. You talked about
Hmm.
mental health days, and Eric touched on it. And the reality of it is, I took this week off. I took the entire week off. Now it's because I'm a leprechaun at heart. Yes, I am part Irish, but it is also because I needed the time. I needed the time to recharge.
Hmm.
Slacker.
There it is. But no, it really is. It's very much, you need to find that company that's willing to work with you.
Yeah.
You
And
are you are there to help them. So they should be there to help you.
exactly. And another big tip that I have is and I didn't realize this until like the past few years or so. If you have PTO, use that. Don't just stack it up and then never use it. Because sometimes at some companies, it'll just lapse and just refresh once the new year starts or whatever. So use it if you have it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another big thing. There's a lot of jobs, a lot of companies out there going to unlimited PTO.
Yeah.
Now, that's
Unlimited.
you saw it. I have reverse printout. I hate my job because it is mine. I'm Lethal Cross. Darren, I love you. I love you, Darren. Oh man, it's always good to see you, brother. Um, but so in the military,
I feel that so much right now.
in the military, we built up use it or lose it days. So you were allowed 30 days of leave a year. If you went over 30, you had to use it or you lost it. You didn't get paid for it. Nothing. At the new year, it was gone. See you later. So there are a lot of jobs out there now that are starting to do unlimited PTO, which for me is great. And I encourage people to take a week a quarter or a 3-day weekend or whatever. I think it's awesome. Take that time for you to recharge. But there's a caveat to that. That means don't sit your dumb ass in front of a computer. Don't sit there and answer emails. Don't sit there and answer chats and things like that. Literally disconnect from your work. Me, personally, I took this week off. I put out a video on Monday. I put out a video on Tuesday. And the rest of the week, on occasion, I'd send out, maybe a message here or there just to keep people knowing who the hell I am, because we have short attention spans these days. But the reality is I ignored everything. I ignored work. And that's really what you have to do, is you have to disconnect from work. And if you're looking at a job and being like, I get 1 week of PTO, all right, I'll take it. Like, what the hell are you thinking? What is 1 week gonna do you in 12 months? 12 fucking months. We are not fucking robots. KevTech said it. We are not robots. Burned out is a real thing. Use your fucking PTO. Yes, I'm improvising that, KevTech. Take advantage of your time off. You need time to relax. No one is a robot. You can do other things like hobbies or something else to take care of your family.
Exactly. Like for
Hobbies?
me, for example, I actually got previously certified. This is like, it lapsed in like 2018, but
You got what certified?
in Photoshop, like a few years ago.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, so basically just do like basic graphic design and stuff like that in my free time. And it's actually really relaxing. But stuff like that really helps me. So
But that's the thing is, right? You have your hobbies, things you enjoy doing outside of work. And so when we talk about being you, and when I talk about the organization I work for, I talk very highly of them. I will never say who they are on this stream. If you want to find them, go ahead and Google me, bitch. But at the end of the day, they are very great at what they do. We are very good at what we do. But the way they take care of employees is very important to them. Dancing robot, here it is. If you're listening on audio podcast, you're missing out.
Nice.
I'm sure Dancing Granny is coming soon because it's 7:47. You're a little behind on your Dancing Granny.
Well, nobody said anything. Nobody has requested Dancing Granny today.
They're slacking. Slackers.
Slacking. Our people.
All right. So I got a thing here from El Cartman Colo on Twitch. If you are a leader and your team is not your number one priority, you're doing yourself a disservice to your productivity, retention, and team cohesion. Shit will get missed. Ideas won't get said. Stuff will sit because why should they care and go the extra mile if you don't give a fuck? Once again, I'm improvising. But I agree. What do you say, Katie?
Yeah, I agree. Because here's the thing, like your coworkers below you, like let's say I'm gonna be a manager because that's actually one of my goals in the future, funny enough. If you're the manager, the people below you are just gonna like worry about whatever they're doing. And if you fail to like help control the ship per se, like you're not only doing yourself a disservice, but you're like gonna fail your whole team, but not being organized yourself and taking care of your own mental health too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's very much important because of the fact that if you look at it, people don't leave the position they're in necessarily, not always anyways.
Yeah.
Because of the job they're doing. They leave because of piss poor management.
Because of people and management, yeah.
And it's because you're a manager, you're not a leader. There's a big difference between the two. And people don't realize that. And I think that's something, Katie, I hope that you find as you're on your job search and trying to break into cybersecurity and doing all these things, that you find that that leader that will help you and guide you and mentor you, because that is very much what is needed, right? You need someone that will guide you on your path. So when we look at it, it's very difficult. We talk about breaking in. We talk about being you, being a woman in tech. If you were to take all three of these, being you, which is being a woman,
Yeah.
being in tech, and trying to break into the career field, do you find being yourself has held you back at all?
Um, like I think when I get down, like in the dumps and all that, I like to think that, but that's not the truth. What does hold me back is being afraid of bad managers, like I said earlier, and stuff like that. But I think I'll be okay.
So I will say this: LinkedIn, Twitter,
Yeah.
Eric, myself, all these people in the chat. Um, we will always go to bat for those that are trying to improve themselves, and always try to help them find work and find be able to achieve their dreams and their goals,
Yeah.
and really see their success. So if you were to, do you think being a woman has really held you back at all in trying to find what you're trying to do?
That's a good question. I think it's definitely, from what I observed, it's definitely held a lot of people back. Well, a lot of women back, rather. But for me, it hasn't really held me back, I don't think.
Do you
Gladly.
see going forward that you know being in this community, do you think because of the women that have paved the way for you that it's going to help you?
Yes, definitely. In regards to like being held back, I think at this point in my case, because I'm a unique special person. No, no, I think because I'm a special case and I did work my butt off to get where I am now, which I feel like I shouldn't have. I think I am at an advantage that not everyone's going to have, and I'm very privileged to have that.
Well, I think we all, depending on the amount of work we put in,
Yeah.
have different privileges. If you
Yeah,
put in
yeah,
the
yeah.
effort, if you put in the work, you're going to have an advantage over somebody else. And I think that is one of the hard things, because when we look at it, when we look at trying to be inclusive, unfortunately, you will have those people that give women or give
Yeah,
people of color, or Native Americans, or Puerto Ricans or whatever a bad name,
yeah,
and be like, I should get this job just because of the way I look. And it's unfortunate, because it does. It lends to
yeah.
even white males. I'm white. I should get this job. What does that
If you
have to do
look
with
as
anything?
good as I do, I should get the job anyways.
Hold up, Eric. You can't touch me.
Come on.
I got you beat.
Come on.
I got you beat.
Come on,
I'm
people.
about 30
I
years
want to
younger
see
than
that in the chat. Who would you give the job to? Cyber Warrior or me? Come on.
me. Damn
Let's
it,
see it.
me.
Let's see it
My
in the chat,
channel.
okay? Come on. Let's see it in the chat.
But
Who
no, I do.
carries this show? Come on. Who carries
Who
it?
carries this show?
Me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I do. I look at it and I think that too many people hold the way they look as an advantage. And that's not. It should never be an advantage. It should
Yeah,
be the amount of work you put in. Do you have a
exactly.
GitHub repo? Are you on LinkedIn and providing knowledge and giving back to the community? Are you on Twitter giving back to the community?
Exactly. And here's the thing too. I've noticed recently, like someone got banned from DEF CON recently. I'm not gonna name names. Everyone knows, I think. But like if you think about it, you can be as popular as you want and you can have all the connections you want, but at the end of the day you have to humble yourself because you're still in the job market no matter what until you die or you retire. So, the ego has to leave or else the ego will catch up to you. Just saying.
It
That's
will.
true.
It will. Everything is going to catch up to you. Every bad thing you've done, everything you have done is always going to catch up to you. And understand, the way I was raised, it doesn't matter how much good you do. One bad choice, one bad decision
Yeah, yeah.
can burn you for life.
Now you
And so,
tell me that after being on this show for this long? Damn it.
yeah, that's a horrible decision. I don't know why
Damn
you're
it.
here. I love you, but I don't know why you're here.
Damn it. One
But-
bad decision.
but and that comes from my time in the military. That comes from my time of just growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, and the way I was raised. You can do 99 things right. All it
Mhm.
takes is one thing wrong. One thing will burn you. And we see that a lot in our career field. We see that a lot in the people that make dumbass decisions and do
Well,
Yeah.
Catherine,
dumbass things.
As we get here to the end of the hour, we like to ask a lot of our people that are starting, how can we help you? What can we do for you to support you in your journey?
Give me an ego boost. No. I don't know. Just I would love to like stay in touch and just talk to y'all, whether it be like here me being back on the show or just talking privately, because like why not, right? Why not? And that's like the only ask I have.
Well, you know that we
If
will
that's okay with y'all.
always be here to support you and to be, your older brothers here. So you've got us to support you. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate
Cyber Warrior, I'm going to let everybody know about tomorrow's event in the morning. So tomorrow morning, hear the music? Chris Butera, CISA, a lot of guest speakers, Philippi Wiley. I will be doing the shoutcast for this, the Global Cyber News with Neil Bridges. So catch us tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 1300 on. It's going to be on Play Cyber. So if you want to see how to get there, it's going to be on YouTube. Come see us. There's going to be teams from all over the world doing. There's 10 teams doing a castle defense, both attack and defense. So it's going to be a great thing. It's sponsored by Neil, and it's just going to be an amazing couple hours. Okay.
So, Catherine, before we go, look, I'm going to sign us off here in a minute. Before we go, what do you got?
Well, I guess that's it. I have nothing else to say.
Look, it's been amazing having you here, Catherine.
Thank
and I
you.
will say this. It was great that you reached out. I love having you on, especially because you're still in college. You're trying to break in and break through and find your place in the cybersecurity community. Understand you belong here. Everybody that wants to be a part of this community belongs here. And I hope they see that and realize that. And if you feel like you don't belong, reach out to myself or Eric. We will make sure you feel that you belong.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Other than that, look, next week we've got Rebecca Ford coming on. She is an intel specialist, and it'll be an amazing episode. So once again,
she's going to respond to everything. Sorry, I can't tell you.
Security Happy Hour will be live next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Motivation Monday coming up on Monday, Tech Tuesday coming up on Tuesday with Instagram and how to secure it. And Eric, do we have a Thursday show coming up? Are you feeling Thursday? Is that coming?
Let's see. Maybe I will surprise everybody.
All right. So, other than that, look, it's been great having everybody on. Thank you to everybody that joined us in the chat and in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below because that is very, very important to YouTube, unfortunately. And otherwise, I will see you all next time.